Hello friends, welcome to Sociology for Competitive Exams. In this video, I'm gonna talk about how sociology emerged, and sociology is an outcome of modernity and social change in Europe. It is a topic from Civil Services Main Sociology Paper 1, Fundamentals of Sociology, Chapter 1, Sociology the Discipline. UPSC has asked this question twice in 2011. Sociology is an outcome of modernity and social change. We need to explain it. In 2021, modernity emerged only in Europe. It was the second question asked in Civil Services Mains. Before getting into the video, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading more videos on sociology. I referred these four books. To get more understanding on this topic, you can refer these books: Masionis John Sociology, C.N. Sankar Rao Sociology, Anthony Giddens Sociology, and IGNOU M.A Sociology Study Materials. Before understanding the concept of modernity and social change, we must understand historical change of Earth and society. I have categorized it into 5 stages: the Earth's origin, human origin, earliest civilization, modern era, post-modern era. If you take the Earth's origin, before present, I have mentioned as a PP here. 5 billion years ago, it started forming its structure. Then 60 million years ago, earliest primates started taking place on the Earth. 10 million years ago, human ancestors started using tools and fire. This age is called as age of dinosaurs. 100,000 years ago, human beings started roaming on the earth and doing hunting and gatherings. So this is called as the stage of hunting and gathering. Then 15,000 years ago, humans started doing cave art. Then he started doing domestication of dogs, and also started doing horticulture and started exchanging the products. Later, 5,000 years ago, humans started doing agriculture and also doing bureaucracy. It is in a systematic way. 3,000 years ago, Moses and Buddha, Confucius, Plato, Jesus, Muhammad were there in the society, and during this time, Roman Empire were ruling most of the world. Before 1,000 years, Europe started colonizing the various parts of the world. In modern era, especially during 18th century, industrialization started, commercialization were there, modernization started taking place in this time. Adam Smith started talking about the wealth of the nations, and he applauds the capitalism. During 19th century, Malthusian explained about the importance of studying population. He also talked about positive check and negative check. Then 1838, a French social scientist coined the term sociology, Auguste Comte. He is the father of sociology. Sociology derived from Latin and Greek word socio and logos. Socio from Latin word, logos from Greek word. In this time, industrialization started developing. Modernization were also developing. People started following different kind of culture. They started talking different languages. During 1850s, Karl Marx talked about the class conflict. He challenges capitalist class conflict. In modern era, especially during 20th century, Emil Durkheim studied about types of suicide. George Simmel talked about small groups. He is the father of urban sociology. Max Weber sees expanding bureaucracy. During 1920s, Psychologist Cooley and G.H. Med started talking about the looking class, self, I and me. Then American psychologists talked about psychoanalysis, ego and superego. Later, Dubois is a famous sociologist who talked about the racial discrimination and racial consciousness. During 1950s, there were technological development and like cable TV invented, and they started using birth control pill, and there were a number of development which you could see in this time. PG started talking about how the individual learn new things. Then Erving Goffman talked about dramaturgical analysis, which includes front stage and backstage. During 1970s, post-industrialization era started taking place on the society. In that period, Bernard, he's a famous sociologist, started talking about the importance of gender studies. So after this era can be called as post-modern era, people started talking about information and technology. The social scientists gave more importance on subjectivity rather than objectivity. The previous slides for your understanding to know about the evolution of Earth and society. Now my presentation starts. To answer UPSC question, you can refer these slides. You can also develop your answer. Take this presentation as a base, and you can develop your own answer to answer your question in the examination. Introduction. What is modernity? Modernity is a term derived from Latin root word modo, modernus, which means just currently or just recently or just now, lately or currently. Then what is the meaning of social change? Social change is the transformation of the society over a period of time, which is known as social change. Definition of modernization. In 1959, American sociologist Niles Meltzer wrote a book, Social Change in the Industrial Revolution. He defines that modernization is a set of social changes which takes place in the every part of society as it attempts to be industrialized, including economy, politics, education, traditions, and religion. Apart from that, I have given five important definitions on modernity. Depends upon the question you get in the examination, you can mention these definitions in order to get good marks. In 2010, M. Berman wrote a book, All That Is Solid Melts into Air, the Earth Experience of Modernity. He defines that modernity is not only about liberal ideas or practices, it is also about the ongoing changes on culture, institution and politics. In 1994, Ulrich Beck wrote a book, Reflexive Modernization. In this book, he says that modernity overcomes religion to get a secular society. In 1996, Irvin M. Zeitzin wrote the book Ideology and the Development of Sociological Theory. He says that sociology is the development as the reaction to enlightenment. When there is an enlightenment on modernity in the society, sociology developed as a subject. In 1977, Peter L. Berger wrote a book, Facing Up to Modernity. He says this based on the people wearing wristwatches. How many people wear wristwatches? It depends upon the modernization level of the particular society. In 1985, Eugen Habermas wrote a book, The Philosophical Discourse of Modernity, 12 lectures. He says that modernity as an unfinished project. Not even reached the every part of this institution in the society, modernity developed into the post-modernity. So what he says that modernity as an unfinished project, because modernity only reached to the economic institution and political institutions. It didn't reach from family, didn't reach cultural religion. So Yuval Habema says that modernity is an unfinished project. Also, he says that modernity is the child of enlightenment. For your understanding, I have given the map of Europe. Now, currently, there are more than 44 countries in this continent. The industrialization taken place exactly in United Kingdom. Later, it spread to Germany, France, Italy, and other parts of the Europe. Europe history can be categorized into three stages: the Dark Age, Renaissance, and Enlightenment Europe. The Dark Ages. This age can be calculated between 5th and 15th century. It can also be called medieval period or fall of Roman Empire. During this period, there were poverty, social evils, scarcity, diseases, and climate change. And that period, Prince is not able to manage territory well. So the individuals living in the particular territory started ignoring the rules and regulations framed by the administrators. There were more taxes collected from the tenants and workers. There was strict feudal structure during this period, and literary workers stopped writing the history, stopped doing literary activities, and there were no general demography. Also, they limited their architectural activity. They limited their architectural activity, cultural achievement during this period. Next is Renaissance. The Renaissance age is between medieval and modern period. People call this stage as a rebirth or a reawakening of thoughts, tradition, and culture. Place during 14th century in Italy, people started talking about intellectual and cultural progress rather than economical progress. Third stage is the Enlightenment period. This period is between 14th and 18th century approximately. This time, French Revolution and Industrial Revolution played a vital role. People started asking question on each and every aspects of life. People were thinking rationally, scientifically, or logically. In this period, people believed that there were no sacred and profane, and they changed their administrative structure. Like there were church as a head of the particular area. Later, it became became monarch. Then they've changed their structure of the government like democracy. Many social scientists and rational thinkers were believing that society and nature both can be studied scientifically. And also during this age, individual believed that they can reach their goal. They can develop their infinitive potential by thinking logically in an optimized way. Modernity. Modernity took place in Europe, especially between the 16th and 18th century. As I said, the society evolved from hunting and gathering society to industrial society. We call industrial society as a modern society. It took place in Europe especially. Uh, First is hunting and gathering society. Next stage is horticulture and pastoral society. The next level is agrarian society. The final stage is modern society, that is industrial society. During industrial revolution, especially 1760s, individuals started building many manufacturing factories. They started investing more money on their trading, on their business. They dismantled the feudal estates. Then in 1789, French Revolution took place in Italy. That revolution helped the various parts of the world to adopt the concept called liberty, equality, fraternity, reconstructed family, and there were many sphere of life Especially they changed the structure of church system, and there were new social pattern which result from the industrial revolution and French revolution. During this modernity period, there were new social patterns set in motion by the twin revolution with positive and negative consequences. People started thinking more about the future. They were questioning about the tradition and cultural practices. The individualism started increasing. There were a number of ideas. People came with different ideas. There were freedom of ideas. People were given equal opportunity and they were thinking in an optimistic way, and they started organizing a daily routine. They went industries. They worked 16 hours in a day and they worked 6 days in a week. People were thinking more about scientific and technological progress, and capitalists started investing their money on industries and business. There were market economy and urbanization. Then people started trying to reach secularization. In this period, people were thinking that time is money, and there were changes in the family and kinship system. Individuals were working in agricultural sector. The industry, they went to the industry at 6 o'clock in the morning. They came at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. They were giving more importance to the industries. They were not giving importance to the family. Sometimes father has to go far away from his home, so at that time there will be no head in the family. The family will be led by the single mothers. And there were a number of social changes, transformation of material environment. Finally, modernity began in Western Europe in middle 18th century, especially Belgium, northern France, the rural area of German, where plenty of coal mining taken place, which helped the industrialists to develop their state. Also, modernity emerged in England, Netherlands, and northern Germany. Why modernity emerged in Europe? In 1904, the famous social scientist Max Weber wrote a book, The Protestant Ethic and Spirit of Capitalism. In this book, he talked about this world and other world. In northwestern Europe, Protestants were giving more important for this world. They thought that working towards prosperity, developing our economic status is like doing deities on God. Whereas Roman Catholicism, Eastern religion as Hinduism and Buddhism started giving more importance for other worldly religion, like what will happen after life. So they started doing more deities on God and goddesses. They were giving more importance on religion, so they didn't focus more about the economic prosperity. Finally, rationality of the Protestant work ethic has seemed linked to the development of modern science during 17th century. Western Europe colonized North and South America, and Europe looted many sources from the other part of the world, especially they call it as a new world. And West took a commanding lead in wealth, resources, and physical power over rest of the world. Enormous potentiality of science and industries developed in Europe because of various sources they had at that time. They looted plenty of resources from the various parts of the country, especially from India and the Asian part of the world. So because of various reasons, they developed their status. They were having sustainability to develop further. So modernity emerged in Europe. To understand the social transformations and predict the future changes, sociology emerged, and it helped as a subject to the social scientist to predict the future. Thinkers from Europe, especially from France, during 17th century, Charles Montesquieu, during 18th century, J.J. Rousseau, Saint-Simon, Auguste Comte, during 19th century, A. Tocqueville and Emile Durkheim. From Germany, there were social scientists like 18th century Immanuel Kant, G.W. Friedrich Hegel. During 19th century, L. Feuerbach, Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, Max Weber, and W. Dilthey. Thinkers from Europe, especially Italy, during 19th century, Wilfredo Pareto, Gaetano Mosca. Thinkers from Britain, 17th century, Adam Smith, David Ricardo, during 19th century, Herbert Spencer and T.R. Malthus. So these theorists were there during the modernization and industrialization. They started thinking on they started thinking about the development. They started raising questions whatever irrational, illogical in the society. They started giving more importance for equality and equal prosperity for every aspects of the society. Social change, how it emerged. Social change is a transformation, as I said. It is a transformation from traditional society to modern society. Also, a transformation from feudalism to industrialism. During industrialization, Great Britain and other parts of the Europe were developing its sustainability and industrialization. Because of that, there were new ideology, industries were emerging, and there were rationalist thinking, logically giving more importance for values and attitude. There were developed education, progress of knowledge and science. There were developing mass communication. Because of that, social change taken place in the society, social change taken place in Europe. To understand the social reformation and modernity, sociology emerged as a subject in order to study them in a systematic way. Conclusion, to understand modernity, social scientists started linking the society and ideology with the social context, so that the social scientists can easily predict the future or future transformations. And the moralist and philosophers started thinking that there are possibilities of development of other parts of the society, like ancient world of Greece and Roman. There will be equal and even the superior power can be given to the remaining parts of the world. Because of progressive ideas, modernism was born in Europe and the world was growing in power and enlightenment. And there were many social scientists were thinking that Western society was not merely blinking ahead on its own, it was paving the way for the rest of the world. I hope this video is very useful. If you have any query, you can ask in the comment box. I will be answering it. To get more videos on sociology, make sure you subscribe to this channel.